I've been like really debating on if I want to make this docuseries and talk about my life or not. I don't know.
What are you doing?
Okay, let's take a taking vitamins. The most important part of my day. Yeah. So this docu-series is gonna be very, 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 very emotional. So I need to get my mind right with my daily vitamins. So you guys are gonna go on this journey with me. We're gonna kind of take a trip to my past. We're gonna talk about growing up, living with my parents. We're gonna talk about my parents and them being bipolar, dealing with anxiety, depression, and kind of how it affected me growing up. We're gonna talk about my siblings. We're gonna talk about my trans sister. We're going to obviously talk about co-parenting, being a single father, being bisexual, and goals for 2020. So this is gonna be a very emotional this is going to be a very emotional roller coaster, and everything is going to be filmed in real time, so none of it is going to be something that was filmed months ago or weeks ago. And yeah, so enjoy this ride, enjoy all of this, and see you when it starts. There's a mess right here. That's kind of embarrassing. Professional. There we go. Okay. Glasses or no glasses? I can see a lot better. Hi. I feel like I'm doing a YouTube video. So let's get very honest, real, and talk about my life. So this is me. My name is Hector Lopez. I'm 22. I don't want to give too much information because I don't want you to steal my identity. No, I'm kidding. Thought I'd start off with a little bit of humor. This docuseries is really going to be very emotional, raw, and every second I'm doubting myself in a way. So I just want to reflect on like these past few months and just say like life's been crazy. Imagine I quit my job, right? And then I just pursue this in YouTube full time. I wish. A lot of people don't really understand fully why I act the way I do and why I think the way I do. And when I mean that, I mean why I'm such a character and why I enjoy acting and creating content. For me, I really feel like it's an escape. And growing up, I've always enjoyed playing characters and watching people play characters on TV and kind of just having that big imagination to kind of escape from what I was going through and dealing with. Dear Diary, day 22 and still no W-2s.
Know how I feel. Why would you say that?
OTTD. And I'm here to kind of explain it all and explain how this year has probably been the worst year of my life, and to kind of just give you guys a glimpse into my crazy life. I guess I can start with growing up. So growing up, my life was a complete shit show. I'm saying that in the most honest and humble way. So my parents, they worked for a while. My mom broke her back, and then my dad, I think my dad broke his back first, and then my mom broke her back. I don't remember my dad breaking his back because I was so young, but my mom broke her back. Both my parents broke their backs, just to kind of get that out the way. And they basically got disability income. So it wasn't like they worked every 2 weeks. They worked in every 2 weeks, they got paid. It was more of you got one check a month and you know that's what you get. So my parents lived off that. Thankfully my parents owned their house, so it wasn't really a struggle of is the bills gonna get paid or are we gonna have money for rent next month. I sure as hell didn't have a lavish luxury life My parents couldn't afford a lot of things that I wanted. They made ends meet when I did want something. They kind of did provide it for me, but it wasn't right away. My parents did things to make money. Like my dad works on cars. My mom would do whatever she does. I don't know, like help clean houses. I don't know. So yeah, and then I have, at the time I had five brothers and three sisters. Now I have four sisters and four brothers because my brother at the time is in the process of transitioning into a female. So, out of respect, I say my sister. For the longest time, I was kind of my parents' only child together. My dad has two kids to a previous relationship and two other kids to a previous relationship. And then my dad has me and my little brother and sister to my mom. My mom has my older brother and now my older sister to a previous marriage. So I was kind of the only child. I always kind of felt alone growing up. So my two brothers at the time, like I said, lived with my mom and my dad because my mom had custody of them. They would go away on the weekends to visit their dad and stay there on the weekends. So I was, like I said, I kind of felt like the only child because I was kind of always by myself. Growing up, I was kind of close with my siblings, but as they got older, it kind of just drifted away and we're not really that close anymore. I kind of wish we were, but things happen. Like, life happens, people have kids, people kind of grow and move on. I still live close to my siblings, but I don't see them as much as I wish I could. Around the time when I was 10 years old, my parents had my little brother and sister, so I kind of wasn't alone anymore in a way. It kind of sucks though because I wish I was closer to them, but there's a 10-year age gap and I don't think they fully understand some of the things that I go through and deal with because of the fact that they're still kids. So yeah, growing up with my siblings was kind of good but kind of bad. I mean, we argued and fight, but who didn't fight with their siblings? Growing up with my parents was kind of rough just because we argued a lot, we fought a lot. There was times where they just said like the most hurtful things that like to this day I kind of still hold against them, but I don't really bring it up. It's just kind of in the back of my head. There was times where we would fight. That kind of environment, which wasn't always, but when it was, it kind of affected me in a way of like where I became very standoffish with my parents, and I'm not as close as I want to be with my parents. Obviously they're my parents and I love them, but there's a lot of things growing up that I didn't agree with that they did. I remember the one time me and my dad got in a fight. My mom was like, "You like get out the house." And I remember walking to my friend's house with a suitcase, and I went inside, and she was like, "What's wrong?" I just started crying, and I'm just like I can't take this shit anymore. And then also there was this one time like where like me and my parents got in like an altercation. My mom, I remember being in school. No, I remember my mom saying she was gonna call children's services on me and make it seem like I was the one starting everything. I remember being in school and they talking to me like, what happened? Like, why do you have like a mark on you? Like all this stuff. And like I was scared to kind of like just admit like, like it's not like all my fault. Like I'm not the one who started all of this, like the arguing and all that. But I kind of just took the fall and I was like, it's my fault. Like, because I didn't really want to get taken from my parents, because at the end of the day, my parents aren't bad parents. I just feel like they deal with a lot of stuff that they don't communicate about. And they kind of just let it build up and it just kind of explodes, and they kind of just took it out on whoever was around. So I kind of just took the blame and just kind of just like let it fall all on me and just make it seem like I was the problem. And they kind of just were like, oh, okay, and just nothing happened after that. And I'm not saying this to like bash my parents or say like anything bad, but I just wish that like instead of it going to like verbally assaulting, it would just be like a more calm, peaceful communication, because I grew up with that. I've learned that communication was never really the key. And so if I've ever gotten like an issue with somebody, I would just go straight to like violence or like be very aggressive and like threaten people. If I die today or tonight, shout out to the fucking people. I don't like fuck y'all. I'm not saying that I bullied people, because I didn't bully people, but if I got in an argument with somebody, it would, for an example, would be like, shut up, like I'll punch you in your face, like stuff like that. I've learned to communicate with people, and I've learned to kind of stay calm and resolve the situation without violence, just because violence is not the answer, honestly. So the other day I was at my parents' house and I was driving home, and I was thinking, I'm like, I really want to work on my relationship with my parents, just because my parents, they deal with depression, bipolar, anxiety, all of that, and I just want them to understand, like, you could have talked in a more calm manner. And I'm gonna say, like, you know, because of that, I've always been very standoffish. I've never had a conversation at all like this with my parents, so it's gonna be very interesting and very scary at the same time. I was also thinking, like, damn, like I haven't said I love you to my parents probably since I was in middle school, and it's kind of sad. It's at the same time like I've become this standoffish person when it comes to my parents, and I just wish like they had a better understanding of like how I feel, because it's a lot. The things that I went through with my parents, it was a lot, and I've become so standoffish. The only time I really like talk to my parents is a normal conversation. It's never, oh, like, I miss you, mom, I love you, mom, like I love you, dad. Like I don't remember the last time I gave my parents a hug. And I really want to work on that, because at the end of the day, even though the things that I went through with my parents kind of are triggering in a way and made me become so standoffish, I just want to leave all of this in the past and keep going and just move forward. And because at the end of the day, you only have two parents, and I don't want it to be too late and be like, damn, I wish I would have worked on this relationship with my parents. And yeah, so. So, yeah.